Hey guys, so I was reading my Bible this morning and God led me to John 6 through 9, and just wanted to share that with you because it really moved me, so enjoy. But John 6 through 9 says, this is about the 5,000 being fed, just slightly before that. Let's start in verse 5. Therefore Jesus, lifting up his eyes and seeing the large crowd was coming to him, said to Philip, "Where are we to buy bread so that these may eat?" This he was saying to test him, for he knew what he intended to do. Philip answered him, 200 denarii worth of bread is not sufficient for them, for everyone to receive a little. One of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, said to him, "There is a lad here who has 5 barley loaves and 2 fish, but what are these for so many people?" And so, the note that I just kind of wrote down some of the raw thoughts that Jesus touched my heart with when I read that. It says, Jesus wants to know if and on what grounds we will obey and agree with his plans. On what grounds will we obey? Will it be on logic? Will it be, or will it be on faith and on humility and on trust and on knowing our identity in him and knowing his identity as the Lord of Lords, the one who saves? Is it based on what we're seeing, or is it based on what is? So Jesus wants to know if and on what grounds we will obey and agree with his plans. He knew what he would do. He would feed the crowd, but he wanted to see if where they were at. In laying aside their awareness of their own importance, their awareness of their own capabilities, their awareness of their own plans and knowledge. He wanted to know if their God was reason and skill and planning, or if their God was Jesus Christ. Did they put trust in what they could understand and what they could do and the process that they knew? Or would they put trust in Jesus, who had been healing the sick and working miracles and doing all these things? So he wanted to know, was it head knowledge or was it heart knowledge? When they were pressed with a problem, did they look to wisdom to help, or did they look to Jesus, understanding that he makes the way? So Philip couldn't see past logic to step into agreement. Andrew took hope and a crust of bread to offer Jesus his heart, saying, "I don't know what to do with this thing that I've noticed, but it's worth mentioning to you because you can do anything, Jesus." So it's and when I read this passage in the scripture, I can almost hear Andrew saying, like, piping up, "Hey Jesus, there's some bread here. But that's not important." You can just hear the slight hesitation almost, and this might be just what I see, but you can almost see Philip being very logical and saying, "Well, we can't do anything," and then Andrew saying, hey, there's a scrap of bread here. We can feed like 5,000 people with it. How about that? Yeah, we can do that. Or not. Yeah, or not. As he sees the other disciples kind of giving him the look. And I just think that's hilarious. I find things like that all the time. I'm like, that's hilarious and so awkward and weird, and I noticed that, and well, alright. But moving on with that. So Andrew notices something, and he's like, "Hey Jesus, I've noticed this. Don't know what to do with it, but here you go." It might be important somehow. And so what we see with that is when we take that, when we apply it, we see that Jesus, he has said he has come to set the captives free. He has come to heal the sick. He has come to restore the broken. You know, those are the words of Isaiah the prophet. Those are the actions of Jesus Christ in every way when he came to earth. He came and he broke death on the cross. He paid for our sin. And that, that is amazing and what we need. And that sets us free from the captivity of sin and the captivity of shame. But also, as he walked on the earth, his authority moved in amazingness. God with us, healed us. He healed the sick. He multiplied food. He created what needed to be created. He was the miracle worker. So it's not just the words of Isaiah, it's the actions of Jesus. It's prophecy fulfilled. So Jesus' plan in John 6 said, Jesus already knew what he was intending to do, but he wanted to test the disciples. And so he already was planning on feeding the crowd. He was already planning on doing a miracle and multiplying things and making something enough. And he wanted to see if the disciples would go with him in that. And so another place that Jesus has said that he would do something, he knew what he was going to do, is he was going to heal the sick, restore the broken. And now he's wondering, is that something that my disciples, my kids, my Jesus followers, my loved ones, the church, his bride, he's wondering, are they going to agree with those words? Are they going to take him as like, hey, this is something to run with? What are they going to do, So what I prayed was, Jesus, you plan to set the captive free. You plan to heal the sick. You plan to restore the broken. Grow, empower, and transform me to walk in agreement with you and what you plan to do. Take this note as the suggestion of fish and the thankfulness of a boy's lunch to do what you can do. So that's faith, and then there comes action. So then what you do is you expect God to work miracles, and you rejoice in them and you thank them. And when someone is sick, you pray for them and you expect them to be healed, because Jesus said so. And he doesn't lie. And you run with it as far as you can.